second grade. Today we are going to be making a sandcastle picture. We're going to be reviewing some of our elements of art. We're going to be using lines. We're going to be using shapes. We're going to be talking about texture and of course colour. We'll be talking about foreground, midground and background. So for today's lesson you're going to need some paper. You'll need a Sharpie to draw with or a black crayon. I'm using watercolours, you could use crayon, and then I'm using my little texture trays. If you don't have them, you can try a sidewalk or a floor, and if you don't have them, don't worry about it. Okay, we are going to start off keeping our paper portrait, and I'm going to use my Sharpie to draw. Somewhere in the middle, I'm going to make a rectangle or a square for the base of my castle, the main part of my castle. So I'm just going to do 2 lines down. I'm using my element of line and join across, and I'm going to do that nice castle line across the top to join it. And then here you can add any type of door or windows that you like. Remember, everybody's castle will be different, just like when you build a castle on the beach. Everybody's castles are different. So I'm going to give you some ideas and you can obviously add your own details. I'm going to add a tower on top. And maybe one more. You can decide if you want to do that or not. I'm going to make mine pointy on top. And a little flag. I'm going to add 2 towers on this side. Maybe they will be triangles as well. Yours might be different. And this is a basic idea of a castle. Remember, you can add your own details. Maybe you can add some decorations. Maybe I'll add a little shell. I'm going to add a little path on mine. And then I'm going to draw my horizon line right across. And I'm going to draw another line in the back for some hills. This part is all going to be my foreground. My midground is going to have some sand and also another line that is going to be the ocean. And then my background will be the sky. At this point you can add any other details you want. Maybe you want to add some things you'd find on the beach. Maybe some shells. Maybe a starfish. You can think of some other things that you might find and you can add any details you like. Now I'm going to show you how I added my texture. If you have something you can put underneath that is textured, it could be a floor, it could be maybe a wall that's textured, so you'd put your paper up against it or on it, and I'm putting mine under. And I'm going to use just the edge of my crayon to rub. But like I said, if you don't have a texture, don't worry about it. We're going to paint it anyway, and it's going to look really great. So I'm only going to texture my towers, and I will show you how The rest looks without texture. You could even add real texture if you have some collage materials that you wanted to add. This will be your castle. Okay, so I've added a little bit of texture and now I'm going to paint. Oh, before I paint, I'm just going to colour a few little, my flags and my shells. Okay, so to make my sand, I'm going to first of all use the brown. And then while it's still wet, I'm going to go over it with a little bit of yellow. So I'm kind of mixing these two colours. And that also gives an idea of texture. Okay. I'm going to paint my ground before I move on to the sky. For the sky, if you want to add some details, some clouds, some birds, you can add those details too. I'm using, for my sky, I'm using the lighter blue and a white. And I'm just kind of mixing it up just like I did with the sand. I used the brown and yellow. I'm using the blue. And then I'm going on top with the white. My mid-ground is my ocean, so to make that stand out a little different from the sky, I just want to use a little bit of a darker blue. And I'm also going to add a little bit of green in there. When you look at the ocean, it's not always exactly blue or exactly green, so I'm going to just mix those two colours up while they're still wet on my paper. Okay, so this is your castle. I can't wait to see yours. Remember, they can all be different. You can add different shapes of towers, you can have different shapes of windows, you can add different details, and I can't wait to see them.